Hello, hello, Internet. Welcome to the Knights of Prospect, the improvised role playing adventure. My name is Whitney Hawkins, aka Portia Thorngage, Halfling Thief. Thank you for joining us tonight for this show where some of Boston's nerdiest improvisers do this awesome role playing adventure. Feel free to join us in the chat if you're following us on Twitch or Facebook, and you may see some of your comments pop up on the screen. We have lots of great donation perks if you donate to our home theater, Improv Boston. So be sure to follow us on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube at Knights of Prospect. Now I'm going to introduce you to some of my fellow adventurers here. We have Rob Mulligan, aka Ronaldo Francis McKay, the rebellious bard, defying his family's wealth to follow the music. We have Kylie Rolandsick, aka Ellsworth, aka Jelly, the prodigious thief and downright scamp at just 11 years old. And we have Sumit Sarin, aka Raz Snowberry, our party's beloved cleric and the wisest person we know. And of course, we have the Honorable John Serpico. You can see him speak at PAX Online this year to learn about improv and role playing. And he is serving tonight as our humble game master. So please, game master, take us away.
Sure, everybody. So the four of you are all in Raz's church in Tower Town. Raz is a cleric following Enteresh the Shepherd, he who brought humanity across the sea. And you are in this church because, well, there's a reason you're all there. And Raz, what is that reason? Why have you gathered these folks here?
Well, today is, of course, my birthday, and I am having some of my friends over for a little picnic. And since it's raining out, we're going to have it inside the church.
Yeah, it's you've got Portia, Ronaldo, and Jelly here with you. So two incredibly skilled thieves and a bard, though they are not just defined by their professions, of course. You extended the invitation to some of your other incredibly close companions. Chauncey the wizard cannot attend, unfortunately, though he sent his regrets and a gift because he has been in close consultation with some element of the Arcane College where he's a student. You've in fact seen less and less of him over the last week than in the past few months. Gregory the dwarf has been called away for some kind of ceremony, and when you pressed him to ask why, he just said, it's a ceremony. I don't know what it's for, but I'll be back.
Classic.
Vil and Hobie, Vil being your fellow adventurer and ranger, and Hobie, her duck and business partner, are in fact here. And she is currently mingling with kind of all the other people at this party. Who else is here? Are there folks from the church, other clerics? Who else is kind of filling the place? Or is this just small and intimate?
No, so Rez, who we met last time, I invited up to my church and has arrived as well.
Yeah.
There's some farmers who I have been helping out with their kind of low-yield crops this past summer. They have brought a number of fresh crops for me and for the party, so they're actually sort of catering the event. Very happy to have them here. And there's some animals around. I'm not sure where they came from, but they're here as well.
You have noticed that Vil was very insistent that she was going to mingle. But you have noticed that she's spending a lot more time in what appears to be deep counsel with animals than with the shall we say, sentient members of the guest list. But people are having a perfectly lovely time. Well, in fact, let's Raz have you roll 2d6 plus your charisma just to determine how good of a time people are having. Add +1 to it because it's already a great time.
So charisma and another one.
Yep, 2d6 plus
okay,
1
7.
for your charisma. 7. Oh, okay, a partial success. So, yeah, so people are in fact having a great time until something happens that, if there was a record player, the record would scratch. But we'll get to that in a moment. In the meanwhile, it's just all of you kind of catching up about the events of the last few days and weeks, and enjoying each other's company.
This is interesting wine, Raz. I've never had wine quite so pungent. It's not necessarily a flavor I expected, but it's unique.
Well,
very unique.
We went mushroom hunting a few weeks ago, and this is actually mushroom-based wine.
I thought it was vinegar.
Vinegar, yeah. There's some vinegar in there. You're right.
It's like sort of a viscous, sort of musky. There's like a musk to it.
Yeah,
I didn't expect pulp. I didn't expect pulp, but there is definitely pulp in this. And you know what?
Yeah.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Thank you.
That's all
I
have
like
to say.
it. It's like it adds fiber.
Yeah. The great thing about it is you don't even need a meal after it. You drink a bottle of mushroom wine and you're good for the afternoon.
I'm full. I'm full.
Right?
I'm so full. I've only had a few sips, and I don't know if I can eat any more of this wine. I really don't think I want to eat any more of it.
There's fresh corn back on the grill.
Ooh, I do want some of that.
And save room. There's these miniature turnips. I've been popping. There's a bushel out by the.
Oh, Ableton must have brought his turnips. Oh, I'm so glad.
I brought my turnips!
Thank you, Ableton.
Hey, happy birthday!
Thanks, buddy.
Ableton seems great.
Yeah,
He
seems like a
didn't
nice
have
guy.
any turnips until who knows what happened, but suddenly he had at least small ones.
That was really nice of him to turn up for your birthday.
Yeah.
Very good one. Very good one.
And a good time is in fact being had by all. Ronaldo, for you, this kind of represents something of a respite because you are still the eldest son of a wealthy noble family, but the issue is life is slightly harder since you had kind of a very public spat and kind of separation from your mother and father and the fortune that they were pretty insistent that they wanted you to manage.
Mm-hmm.
So you are, in essence, you're dealing with something that you've never necessarily had to deal with before, which is how much money you have on you and what you can do with it.
I spent most of it.
Yes, you did. You do have, obviously you have at least one or two kind of employees of yours in the Mackay kind of family household that are doing their best to support you, but it's a very different world now that you are not the heir presumptive.
Yeah, but I'm making it work. I have Erica the Brigand, who steals me a meal here and there.
Yeah, is Erica here at this party?
Oh,
with you?
totally.
Yeah,
Erica the Brigand is here. I know she has a last name. I have not decided to learn it. She's Erica the Brigand forever for me.
Mm-hmm. For those of you that have chosen to learn it, her name is Erica Mansouri. She actually, you all kind of came across her in adventure some weeks ago. She was hired, you ultimately found out, by Ronaldo's father to, engage in chicanery to try to force Ronaldo back into the fold of the family. But Ronaldo, being the clever diplomat he is, ended up folding Erica into his service as a paid employee. So while she's ostensibly a spy on the inside of his family, in actuality, she spends most of the time just kind of nearby carrying a boar spear. Because before she was a brigand, she served in the Catavian military as mounted cavalry. So she's much more well suited to bodyguard duty, and so almost as she, in point of fact, more or less demands Ronaldo to be physically bodyguarding you most of the time.
Erica, it's fine. It's really fine. We're among friends here, Erica,
right?
And all you need to do is just have fun, and that's an order.
I am having fun.
That is an order. Have fun. Have more fun.
Okay, I'll have more fun.
Put the spear down.
Look at me
Not
go.
like that. Not fun like that.
No. Oh, put the spear down.
Yeah.
Can I borrow your sword?
No. Smile.
I'm going to go ahead and pick up my spear.
Oh, sure. Here.
Have you tried these turnips? They're excellent.
They're so delicious. I've never had a turnip quite like this. Normally, they're huge. They're like huge, but worse potatoes. But these are delicious. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and in Catavian High diet, I actually call turnips disgusting potatoes. That's the direct translation.
Ah.
But these are very good, sir.
Very delicious.
Anyway, I'm going to man the door.
No,
I'm having fun, though, sir.
Have so much fun.
The most fun. And
she's a hoot. She's a hoot.
She seems fun.
What's funny is she, as your bodyguard, more or less every couple of days when she's able, she kind of secrets you a pouch of coins, almost like an allowance. So she is simultaneously your employee, and she also bankrolls you and also would defend your life. So it's kind of a fun, multifaceted relationship you have. Speaking of the door, the interruption that I hinted at comes literally crashing through. The front door of the church swings open, Raz, as you were about to kind of give a speech. And barreling through is Portia, a friend of yours, and Jelly, a friend of yours as well. It's Corpius Brunt, the pirate / thief / garishly dressed criminal about town.
Our frenemy.
Your frenemy. Throws the door open, quickly turns around and closes it, and literally, as he's about to turn, he already has Erica's boar spear up against his neck.
Erica, the door.
We have a party crasher, everyone. And with that, there's that record scratch moment. And Corpius looks and kind of sees Raz, you, and you, Ronaldo, and he knows both of you, but he sees Portia and Jelly. Corpius does not look himself. He is wearing essentially a sackcloth shirt. He has like a bag full of stuff. He's not wearing shoes. His hair still looks great, but the rest of him is very kind of very turned around. Portia and Jelly, for all your dealings with him, both kind of personally as a friend or rival, and professionally as a fence and poison trader and fellow thief that you've both worked with. This is almost unnerving. It's like seeing someone in their bathrobe or their pajamas, because Corpius has looked put together every time, even on jobs. So he's kind of holding his hands up like this and like this pouch. Ronaldo, you and Erica look at each other, and she lowers the boar spear. I seek sanctuary in this church.
Corpius, you look like an old sack of potatoes.
Where are your boots?
Where's your hat? Don't you usually have a big hat?
Any of it. Normally, I have a whole selection of hats. He kind of walks his bare feet, kind of foot falling on the stone of the church as he walks towards the front. All of the kind of other guests have obviously craned their crane their necks to look at this poor unfortunate guy. And he kind of walks up and in front of Enteresh and everybody says, I didn't have time to take anything except for what's in this bag. Is there a quiet place we could all talk?
Nothing to see here, folks. Just a man looking like potatoes. Come on, Corpius. And Jelly and I take Corpius to a quiet corner where just some goats are hanging out.
Yeah, it's the three of you and a couple of goats, and Hobie is doing his best not to appear like he's eavesdropping, but he clearly is.
Huh.
Classic Hobie.
Yeah, Hobie's always got to get involved, but hey, he grows on you.
Wow.
All right, what's going on? What's with the potato aesthetic?
It's Fran McLean, the captain of thieves. I think she found out that I betrayed her to all of you those weeks ago. Told you all about the theft, and I was trying to right a wrong here. A thief shouldn't betray a thief, so it's up to a third thief to reconcile between the first two. That's what I did when I told you about that heist of hers, but she wants me dead, and I need to get out of town. Well, I could stay here forever. I don't think Fran McLean would barge into a church and kill me. But
you never know with Fran. She is serious.
Yeah, she could be a kind of a party crasher sometimes, so.
And a party pooper. She would easily ruin a party by murdering someone.
She sent 2 of her people into my house last night. And I had to get out, and by the time I got to my safe house, that was already ransacked. So everything to my name is in this bag. I don't even have shoes.
Oh, your boots are so lovely.
I lost the whole collection, Portia. All of them. I even paid for some of those boots.
Even the sandalwood moccasins?
The sandalwood moccasins were the last thing I saw as I jumped out the window.
They were stunning.
Mm-hmm. I know. Well, so my plan so far...
I can't imagine losing all my stuff. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
It's a great reason to steal more stuff. But
I know, right? My friends, I have been driven to despondence. Before I could even think of that, I had to think first of self-preservation, which meant my first thought was, I should go to that church of that priest I know who's friends with those thieves I know. And that's about as far as I got. So my plan right now is to either ask Raz to let me stay here until I'm dead 50 years from now, or I need you all to get me out of town, and I will pay you with the contents of this bag.
Ooh, stuff. What's in the bag, Corby?
What's in the bag? What's in the bag?
Spill it.
So he lays everything. He lays everything out. So here's what I want. This is just going to be really more luck than anything else. What's in here, because it's ultimately going to be your payment. So Portia and Jelly, I want each of you to roll 2d6 and tell me what you get.
4.
3.
Okay, and because you need a minimum of 7 for this to be considered successful within the apocalypse system, what he has for you, it's by no means worthless. It's just not terribly exciting. The thing that he was able to kind of take with him were, essentially some kind of traveling rations, like nicely packed traveling rations, and a couple of purses of gold. So he's going to pay you a not insignificant amount of money, but beyond that, he has nothing to his name. Well, and there you have it. I'll pay for passage. However, you can give it to me, assuming you can give it to me, which there is no guarantee, but it doesn't need to be a guarantee because I'm going to ask Raz to let me stay here for literally the rest of my life. Where is Raz anyway? Let's cut to the front of the church. Raz, you are giving your birthday speech.
And even though most years I let the day pass, this year I felt, since it is a year of great change and a year of great turmoil in the land, that it'd be nice to have a day of celebration, a day where we can all get together and kind of forget troubles of our pasts and just enjoy the day for what it is. So here's to me, and here's to good times all the time.
To good times all the time.
To good times all the
time.
Wendy and Marcus, the couple that you married all of those months ago now, stopped by to celebrate, but not to drink, because Wendy kind of knowingly taps her middle, and Raz, I just want to say I feel like we're on the first steps of a grand adventure in life, and you were right there with us when it began.
Was I?
Well, you married us.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And you also saved us when we made that pilgrimage, and that fell apart pretty quickly.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That was a close one.
It was.
Things might have ended pretty quickly. Yeah.
That would have been a very quick adventure if things went more south than they did.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we just wanted to say hello and congratulations and happy birthday. And
congratulations to you.
Oh, wait, for what?
You know.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, that's why we're not drinking today.
Right. Yep. Yep.
All right. Happy birthday, Raz.
Thank you.
And with that, kind of the party eventually winds down. There, piles of food that were left over are eventually going to be kind of packaged up and sent out to those in your flock in need. But as for right now, it's kind of all of you and and a very out of sorts Corpius Brunt kind of sitting in the middle of the floor on cushions in the middle of this big cathedral of yours.
Well, Corpius, I mean, you can stay here for as long as you like. The church is always looking for more help. I have an extra office. I would love to teach you the ways of Enteresh, and maybe you can take over this church one day when it's my turn to take a pilgrimage. So I'm leaving the door open, and it's up to you.
Wow. Well, that sounds pretty good. I'm not sure how faithful I am or I'm capable of being, but if
Everybody's
you're offering...
capable.
Oh, well, that's very profound. But yeah, if that's how it'll be, then yes, I'd be happy to stay. Thank you so much. I don't think anybody knows I'm here, which is good, unless any of your flock are active in the criminal underground. Well, aside from Portia and Jelly, which I don't think they are. I probably would have recognized them. So yeah, I guess as long as I'm here, I'm safe. At that moment, the front door opens, and an absolutely enormous person pops her head in, just kind of looks around, makes eye contact with Corpius, turns around and shouts loud enough for all of you to hear, "Yeah, he's in here."
Excuse me. Who are you? Who are you?
Oh, what's her name? Someone shout out a name.
Candace.
I'm Candace. I work for Fran McLean. I'm a hired killer, and I'm going to find a way to murder Corpius Brunt.
Candace.
I'm going to do it with this knife. And she holds up a knife and then puts it back in her belt.
Can I use my new ability, Sick Burn?
Yes, you can.
As Candace pulls out her knife, I want to say, Candace, you do recognize you came in here as a hired killer, told us exactly what you're going to do, then showed us the most pathetic knife I've ever seen in my entire life. Right, you do realize that's what just happened.
Yeah.
I'll roll
Ouch.
Yeah.
I was there.
So the way Sick Burn works is on a 10+, she bears this scorn and is shamed. On a 7 to 9, there are generally positive consequences. On a 6 or less, things get critical in a minute.
I rolled a 10, so.
Oh.
How does her shame manifest? Because I served up something quite fresh, basically described what she did, and I want to know how she cries.
Fresh like a turnip.
The reason why, Ronaldo, this works so much is Candace. It is very clear to you. Actually, Portia, you have seen Candace. You've never crossed Candace. Candace she is 6 feet tall, trained in the sword, trained with the bow.
Amazing shoulders.
They're quite
magnificent.
Remarkable.
She
Incredible
is arguably the most dangerous killer in Tower Town. To say nothing of Gregory, the legionary that you know, but in a fight between the two of them, you could probably put even money on either. And so you realize, Ronaldo, that Candace came in here to essentially call her shot like Babe Ruth. Mm-hmm. She pretty much said, I'm going to kill him. It's going to be with this knife, and there's nothing you can do. And what she didn't expect was for all of you to not cower in fear and start bargaining. So she's standing there in the door, completely dumbfounded, because essentially she was a bully that didn't expect the person she was bullying to talk back. There are a pair of other people kind of popping their head in the doorway who are all about a half foot shorter than Candace. And they look at Candace, and Candace looks at them. And then she looks at you, Ronaldo.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And I slowly push her out the door and slowly close the door. It's fine. But we're not buying. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Nicely done.
Well done, Ronaldo. Well done.
Nice.
So the fact of the matter is, though, they now know that Corpius is here. So, what's the plan exactly?
We gotta get Corpius out of here.
That's right.
Corpius, we might have to. You still have to pay us, I think, but you might have to pay us in something I know thieves don't love to pay. A favor.
Oh.
You might have to owe us a favor.
We hate favors.
That's like not a thing. That's just something you do.
Yeah, it's not stuff.
You have to do stuff for us if we do this for you.
It's the currency of trust. I was hoping you'd ask for something as a favor I could do right now. I don't suppose this is a favor I could do right now. All right, fine.
We'll call it in, which means it's more valuable.
Sure. I owe Raz, and by extension all of you, a favor. But it has to come from Raz. He was the one that offered me safe passage.
Sounds fair.
Or rather, asylum, I suppose, or sanctuary. Whatever clerics. Sanctuary. Yes, that's the one. Yes, Raz, I owe you a favor. Shake my hand.
Nope.
Nice.
So, Raz, you are owed a blood favor from Corpius Brunt, self-styled pirate. But as for right now, he's just a guy that needs to get out of town. So I leave it all up to you to figure out what that approach should be.
I would like to cast divination to see what is happening outside of the church.
Absolutely. Cast divination. That's going to be 2d6 plus your wisdom.
8.
8, sure. So you, I'm going to say that you draw unwelcome attention to yourself with the casting, though it is successful. So you do what you do when you commune with Enteresh, which is, of course,
Enteresh, show me what's happening outside the church.
The unwelcome attention comes from the fact that the hired killers outside the church heard you ask that, which means that they now understand that this isn't someone running in and asking sanctuary at any random church. So essentially, Enteresh, in the way that Enteresh the Shepherd does, kind of places the ideas in your head as if they're in your own voice. And so you could almost hear yourself in your own head kind of describing the scene outside. Candace, you see kind of walking quickly away, kind of her back ramrod straight, kind of wiping a tear away. But there are a pair of pair of kind of swordsmen outside. There's a man and a woman. They're both wearing rapiers, wearing, kind of black tunics, and essentially they have between the two of them like packs. Essentially, they're setting up a picnic dinner right now. So they're staking this place out.
Okay. So Enteresh tells me that there's 2 people outside our door with rapiers. We could probably take them if we were to be physical.
Ooh.
Or we could just hang out here and have a little slumber party.
Or
what?
I could take some of my poison, rub it on some of those delicious miniature turnips, offer it to them as a seemingly beneficial nourishment for them, and it'll make them fall into a deep sleep.
Ooh.
That is deliciously clever, Jelly.
That is pretty good.
All right, you want to give that a shot?
Let's give it a shot.
Cool. So, the poison is called the oil of Tajit. You are, I think, Portia, you may know that poison as well.
Yes, I believe that is oil of Tajit.
Yes.
Yeah, the two of you are both, expert poisoners. And, in a lot of ways you apply your craft similarly. So, the two of you take to kind of essentially oiling up some turnips and, going out there. And the reason why this may work at all, we'll see if it does, but the reason why it may is almost as it might essentially be seen as a professional courtesy.
I'm going to drape a cloth over my arm so as to look like a cater waiter.
That sounds like an aid roll to me. So, Portia, roll 2d6 plus your charisma.
Six.
Alrighty. So you certainly look the part. So the two of you kind of walk out, kind of cater waiter, scarf over arm, Jelly with a bounty from inside, and the two essentially the two of Fran McLean's killers are sitting outside on a bench. And they see the two of you approaching, and they both stand up and kind of rest their hands on their rapiers.
This looks like a lovely date. Would you care for some miniature turnips?
Oh, they're delicacy.
Of the two of them, the woman steps forward and says, "Well, we'd prefer if you let us get in there and drag Corpius out."
Oh, tight guest list.
Oh, and you don't want to do that on an empty stomach. I would say have a snack, get your blood sugar up, and then you can get down to brass tacks.
You're not going to bribe us into leaving. You know who sent us. Corpius knows who sent us.
Who's asking you to leave? We're offering you snacks.
It's an hors d'oeuvre.
All right, Jelly, roll this is going to be 2d6 plus. Essentially, this is going to be, you know what this is? This is a parlay. You want them to eat some turnips. They don't want to eat some turnips. Portia is there, kind of backing you up. It's just a couple of people looking out for two people in kind of the same profession, even if you're on opposite sides of this thing. So I'll let you do a parlay. So that's going to be 2d6 plus your charisma, Jelly.
Yes. 9 plus 1, 10.
Well, we appreciate the professional courtesy. You've both done some stakeout work in your day. I'm sure you know how tough this is.
Oh, it's a long night. Are you kidding?
A long night that could turn into a long week.
Tell me about it. Oh, you end up so stinky?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and And this one here doesn't bathe even if he has access to water. Hey, that's not fair.
Oh, you're hilarious.
All right, we accept the gifts as they are intended. Let us hope that this does not come to bloodshed and that you all think better of keeping that betrayer in there.
It absolutely will not come to bloodshed.
Here's hoping. And they both kind of toast with a turnip and slice a couple up, put it on a piece of bread and eat it. And you're all kind of waving and backing up and slowly backing up. And eventually the two of them sit down on a bench and fall asleep, heads on each other's shoulders. All right, everybody, you bought yourself a window.
Looks like they're asleep outside. Raz, should we dress Corpius up in like some priestly vestments?
Sure, I have my my vestments for the road. I can hand those off. I can stitch myself a new set.
Yeah, and you know what? Should we trick people to think one of those sleeping guards outside is Corpius? Just like drag him inside, dress him like a potato, and when they burst in, they're like, "We've got Corpius."
Great idea.
Do you think
the
that
old
works?
switcheroo?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. So here's how this is going to work: is Raz, because you're the expert in clerical fashion and the donning of vestments, I need you to roll. 2d6 plus. Let's say this will be your dexterity to kind of whip up, and I'll give you a +1 because you know how clerics should look, to kind of sew something together that works for you and works for Corpius, and then you're going to kind of put clothes on someone else. Before you tell me that, Ronaldo, what you're going to roll is discern realities. Because essentially, here's everything that has happened and is about to happen. Mm-hmm. Corpius came in here seeking asylum. He was sanctuary. He was immediately found out, and so now the plan is to get him out of town. Portia and Jelly bought you a window to get him out of this building. Mm-hmm. But the greater problem is getting him out of town itself. You know, Ronaldo, because you have owed and still owe Fran McLean a lot of money, that she kind of has her hands in everything. Mm-hmm. So your discern realities is going to be based around things you need to know to physically spirit this thief out of town.
Sure. So
roll that and ask your and think about the questions while we talk about what Raz did. So Raz, what'd you get?
I got an 8.
Okay. So the trick is this: you can either convincingly dress up Corpius like a traveling cleric, or convincingly dress one of the two sleeping murderers outside as Corpius, but you can't do both.
Let's convincingly dress Corpius as a cleric.
Sure. So we see kind of a bit of a montage at this point while, and actually, Ronaldo, what did you roll?
Oh, I rolled an awful 6. Just
okay.
Not enough.
Well, here's what it's going to be, though. You're going to have to ask one question. Mm-hmm. The answer will be terrible.
Okay.
So what is the question that you kind of need more information on in terms of getting Corpius out of town?
What should I be on the lookout for?
You're pretty sure that Fran McLean, self-styled captain of thieves, has paid off guardsmen at every gate leaving this city. So if you take him out through any wall or on any road on the surface, you're going to be found out.
We need to get him to the docks. He is a pirate.
So here's the montage. We see kind of Portia and Jelly, poisoning these two people, and then kind of like getting their heads together and then running back in and like packing up supplies. Raz, you are like quickly stitching some some heraldry onto a tunic. Ronaldo, you're like looking at a map of Tower Town and just like writing X's on all the gates. And yeah, you have just kind of this moment. You're all like crossing and figuring out. Corpius is like getting fitted for like nice sandals again, and all of this is kind of happening. And after kind of an appropriate amount of time has passed, Raz, you and Corpius both look roughly like priests of Enteresh, and all of you are going to try to, or some subset of you, whatever makes the most sense, are going to try to get down to the docks. However many want to take this perilous trip can take it.
So, Corpius, what's going to happen is we're going to have to sneak you on a cargo ship. You're probably going to have to, sleep in a box full of tiny turnips for at least a few days. Then
it's a dream.
Steal a boat out to steal a boat and hopefully drift towards land, because that's the best way for you to get out of here for now. And then regroup in, I don't know, nearby town.
All right.
Start your new criminal empire in a smaller city,
Oh, that sounds pretty nice. I might head north to Catavia.
That could work.
Yeah,
it's great this time of year. Turnips are huge, though, so it's a little
big turnips.
I do like the smaller turnips.
Much sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
So so that's the plan. You're essentially going to get Corpius down to the docks, and when you're there, you're going to see kind of what boat you can either let him abscond with, or some other kind of boat to get him out of here at the appropriate time. So who is well, you know what? I feel like you all should probably go with Corpius.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's, unless there's some degree of chicanery involved, it might be best to just physically have a bunch of people guarding this poor guy.
You know what? It's Raz's birthday. He should really decide.
Yeah, Raz.
Oh, no, I think we should all go with Corpius, and I'm going to leave a sign that says, "This is Corpius," next to the body that we left in the church.
That's smart.
Smart.
Yeah, you didn't necessarily have the time or the fabric to really dress this sleeping guy like Corpius, but maybe a sign will be
very
okay.
Yeah. Middle work.
So here lies Corpius, Fran McLean.
At least instill the idea.
Yeah, it may give you an extra couple of seconds.
Right.
So you kind of gather stuff up. Thankfully there's plenty of food here, so you kind of pack Corpius up a care package. Portia and Jelly, he gives you kind of small sacks of coin, and Razzie gave you something more valuable, which is a favor from Corpius that you'll be able to call in at some point. And you kind of pack him up and get him ready. So the big question is, and I leave this up to anyone to really kind of decide and answer, what is your general approach to getting him across town from this Church of Enteresh to the docks?
Ronaldo, doesn't your family business in import-export?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of the idea I had.
Ah, perfect. Do they have a system to get goods to the docks?
Oh, yeah, but I'm not privy to it right now because my father hates me, but...
Is Erica?
Erica?
Yeah, hold on a
second.
Erica, stop guarding the door. We have a question for you.
All right, sure. What's up?
Can you help us sneak this person of note who you don't need to know, who you probably already know because you were listening, to...
That's Corpius, the thief and pirate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Slash cleric.
First of all, first job, you don't know that. Second, that's the first thing.
Got it, sir.
Guard that secret.
I will, sir.
Secret. Second, can you get him in a box and then on one of the import-export boats? Either, ideally, not one of my father's boats. Maybe like a Leclerc one, so that people aren't as suspicious. One of those cargo boats with all the food that they ship to Cortavia.
Maybe a larger boat.
Help us get there.
Stone boat.
So, yes. There are two ways this could go. Ronaldo, I leave it up to you. You can kind of send Erica off to do this, and Whether or not she does will be a surprise to you later on, or you can roll for it now.
Roll for it.
To see. Okay. So this is going to be Ronaldo, essentially 2d6 plus intelligence. This is a plan that involves kind of changing a shipping manifest, adjusting a wagon.
It's not a good one. I don't want to say it, but it's a 3.
I think you got it. Okay. Yeah, that is.
So what do you think, Erica? Do you think it'll work? We'll rig up a pulley system. We'll rig up a pulley system to pull him onto the boat, and then we'll put him in. Oh no, we'll put him in the crate. No,
maybe we'll catapult him.
We'll
catapult him onto the boat.
Like a launch.
Yeah, like a launch him onto a
like a trebuchet.
Yeah. Trebuchet.
Tray.
We cut to 2 hours later. All of you are standing around a Mackay family wagon with a Leclerc stamped box in it, talking about rigging up a pulley system once you round the corner from the warehouse district up into the docks, which are literally right around the corner.
Right.
And you're kind of actively arguing how it would work and how winches work and...
I don't know anything about winches. I don't know anything about wenches. I don't know anything about most W words. I didn't do well in academy.
Yeah, you're all taking turns diagramming pulley systems and counterweights.
Yeah.
When Fran McLean herself, along with half a dozen armed killers, walk around the corner and are staring at all of you. And Fran looks at all of you and says, "Oh, by all means, I'll wait till you're done with your math."
Okay. No, that's good.
It'll be a little while.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit, so you're going to have to wait for a bit.
We're not...
You might want to leave.
Yeah, and then come back. We're terrible at math.
We'll still be here.
The part that broke my heart the most, and she reaches into her kind of cloak and pulls out a note, is that you lied to me. This note that says this is Corpius was put on someone that was not, in fact, Corpius at all. And Ronaldo, you and I have had business dealings, and you've betrayed that sacred trust by trying to abscond with someone.
Before we jump to conclusions, that Corpius was written in the ancient human language of Latin, where Corpius means body, and in fact, that is a body.
Yeah, this is a body. That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Very astute, cleric. My quarrel is not with you. A terrified man who was terrified justifiably ran into your church seeking sanctuary. I'm not mad at you for granting it. Ronaldo, Jelly, Portia, we all know each other.
We sure do. Great friends.
Yet here we are.
Fran. And I walk a little closer to them without my weapon drawn at all. Like, Fran, we can talk about this. We can really talk about this. And then I'd like to use my ability again, Sick Burn. And I go, oh wait, hold on, there's something on your shirt. And then I try to do the old flick their nose.
Oh. Okay. Good luck on the roll.
That's a 11?
So this sick burn ability you have is very, very interesting because it is not just the act of exquisite mockery. It is literally drawing the bardic arcane art that you do. The same kind of pulling of energy from the earth that you do to infuse your songs with magic. You are doing the exact same thing, only using insults as a conduit instead of your music. So, yes, Fran McLean kind of stands there absolutely aghast that you would say this to her, and she she looks at kind of the others in the party, all of her kind of trained employees.
Are they all laughing hysterically?
2 of them are laughing and trying not to, which to do this in front of essentially a mob boss is not good for their health. So the other 3 are standing in stony silence. So the good news is Fran McLean, to do her best to preserve her authority in front of her people, kind of backs up and says, I have matters of equal import to this. Take care of them. And she storms off. The problem, though, is there are 5 other people with blades, and they are drawing them. So, everybody, it is time for a little bit of dockside hijinks and violence. So
I quickly look back as they draw their blades. Just be like, I think I bought enough time. You might want to get out of here, Corpius.
Got it. Will do. And he
Jump
kind
on
of
the
starts.
boat.
He starts kind of trying to open the box, but the other part of the plan that failed is to make it convincing you hammered the box shut because you weren't going to open it until you were going to get to the docks. So a couple of things are going to happen. 1, you're all going to be involved in a giant brawl along the docks. And 2, someone needs to get Corpius out of that box. So starting in any order we choose, someone go first. Tell me what you want to do. You have 5 people armed with rapiers. One of them has a broadsword. It's serious. So give me the rundown, everyone. Who wants to go first?
Well, I can get Corpius out of that box. I can pick any lock, unwedge anything that's been jammed. I'll get him right out. I'll use my rapier. I'll use my lock pick kit.
All right, sounds good. So the way to do that is you are going to use Tricks of the Trade, which is 2d6 plus your dexterity. So you essentially your comrades kind of form, kind of a battle line in front of you. And Jelly, you hop up into the wagon and start trying to pry up nails. So let's roll 2d6 plus your dexterity. Tell me what you get.
I got 6 plus 1, 7. I got 7.
Okay. So the good news is that you are able to start opening these things up. The bad news is it's going to take a second turn as well. So you are just starting to work now. Like you have your tools and pry bars, and you're pulling things open. One of them apparently had a crossbow because a bolt flew like right by your eyes as you were working.
All
who
right.
wants to go next?
I don't like them taking a shot at Jelly, so I'm taking a shot right back, and I'm using a green arrow. And that's my arrow with some serpent's tears on it.
Go for it. Roll it.
4, 7. Plus my dexterity.
Plus your dexterity for a volley.
Hell yeah, that's 9. Plus I'm a halfling, so that's an 11.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of quickly knock and fire, and time slows down in that theatrical moment right before things like this come to pass, and we just see like a single droplet of poison just hovering on the head of that arrow, waiting to fall off. And it doesn't, and you fire, and it hits one of the it hits one of these killers right in the chest, and he staggers back, and then he immediately starts getting dizzy. Who wants to go next?
I'd like to take my rapier and try and take either their boot laces and tie them together to trip them, because I don't think I can win here, but I would like to try and cause as much chaos so that they can't attack us. So I'm trying actively to fancily tie someone's shoes together with my rapier.
That sounds pretty good. So this is going to be a hack and slash. I'm going to say -1 because it's one of those things where you're not trying to kill anybody, nor are you trying to let yourself be killed. You don't know if people are playing for keeps yet, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's going to be -1 to make sure that you don't, escalate things.
7.
Okay.
Even
seven. Well, I'm going to give you a choice. You either don't do that or you kill someone.
I accidentally kill someone. I really try very hard not to, and I accidentally slash him right in the carotid, right of main vein, right in the leg, trying to tie his shoes together.
Yeah. So this is all a very tricky situation because, for Portia and Jelly, you all know the same people. This would be like this would be the modern real world equivalent. Someone in sales getting in a fist fight with someone from marketing here. Like this is, you're all ostensibly in the same profession. So this is, Portia, you tried to poison someone, but you shot him in the shoulder. You didn't try to kill them.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get Corpius. And so Ronaldo, you're trying to kind of measure the gives and takes of this. And you're just trying to go and
this. Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a bummer for Ted.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Ted.
that's Ted. You know Ted. You robbed a bank with Ted. Ted is now bleeding and he's on the ground and
it's a risky business.
Yes, it is. Raz, what do you want to do?
Is he dead?
Ted is in the process of dying.
Can I reanimate? Can I animate him if he is dead?
That's why you
immediately
asked.
going to do that.
In that case, absolutely yes.
Good.
You are going to ask Enteresh to infuse Ted's dead body with a hungry spirit. So let's go ahead and roll 2d6 plus wisdom.
That'll be a 9.
All right. So
Ted's back, baby.
Ted!
So normally, normally when you kind of ask Enteresh for the power to do this, you feel the power kind of flow through you when you heal, when you sanctify and bless. With this one, you were kind of waiting for that big, almost cymbal crash of energy to flow through you, and there was almost like a quarter beat worth of pause. And in that silence, you almost heard Enteresh ask, "Really? All right." Within a moment, the body of Ted kind of wrenches itself upright.
Oh!
Animated by despicable necromantic energies.
Is this what you wanted?
Oh, he's back!
Give Ted's body an order. What do you want Ted's body to do?
Attack the other 4 attackers.
And
Get him,
that's
Ted!
immediately what starts happening. So you kind of
Oh my god!
So it's night. The docks are empty. You hear boat bells in the distance. There's a fracas in an alley. The captain of thieves was just insulted by a nobleman, and now all of a sudden there's a zombie trying to murder somebody.
Oh my god!
Ted!
All right, Portia or Jelly, top of the lineup again. I'm gonna. It's gonna take you another turn to open this up. But what do you want to do in addition to that? I'll let you do something else.
In addition to getting Corpius out.
Yeah, you're gonna pop him out right now, but you can also do something else.
Ooh, I want to send him towards safety. I want to create a trap. I want to create a trap for the remaining forces against our plan. I'm going to create a trap to help the zombie capture these violent, Fran minions.
Sure. So here's how this is going to work. Probably the trap you could set up the most quickly would be, and you have one. It's kind of folded up like an accordion. It's essentially a spike strip, and so you kind of pull that out and toss that down. So just to make sure it works, just roll 2d6 plus your dexterity.
I got an 11.
That is a complete and total success. So you kind of stand up on the top with like a very dramatic kick. You like kick the side of the box one more time. The last nail pops out. Corpius springs up. You then, kind of reach into your multi-pocketed adventuring outfit, pull out this like spike strip and toss it kind of over the heads of these killers, and it kind of extends out. And that's the opening that kind of Corpius needs. He starts taking off towards the docks. Portia, your turn.
I'm gonna loose another arrow at them. There's still one that hasn't been hit.
Yep, there is now. Ted the zombie is currently occupying one of the other fighters, which means there are 3 left. One has been hit by one of your arrows, and so there are 2 that are trying to make sense of this. Ronaldo at this point is now in a duel with one of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that guy on his own. Gonna loose an arrow at him.
All right, go for it.
9.
That is a hit. The consequence is that this person attacks you as well. So, this person's on their own, sees you kind of knocking a bow. She kind of makes eye contact with you, and there's that moment where it's like, okay, we're doing this. We are doing this. And there's also that vague quarter second where it's like, do we know each other? Have we worked together? It's Sheila. It's Sheila. She's running towards you. You fire an arrow. It hits her in the thigh. As she's going forward, she was the one that had the crossbow. She kind of falls to a knee and shoots you with a crossbow in the thigh. And then you're both just like,
on the spike strip? Does her knee land on the spike strip?
Yeah, it does.
Sheila!
Portia! You picked the wrong side! Now a pair of criminal marksmen have shot each other in the leg and are now just like on the ground moving in pain. Corpius is kind of bombing down the street. Ronaldo, what do you want to do? You are currently in a sword fight with another one of these folks.
I'd like to hack and slash him, and with the attempt to try and disarm him again.
Sure, go for it.
Successfully, I should say.
Hack and slash -1.
Another even 7.
Dealer's choice again, Ronaldo.
Either I fail or it dies.
Yeah.
Oh, I accidentally. So what happens is I go to try and disarm using his dagger or using my rapier, but I am too close to the wrist. And so I do successfully disarm him, but I also cut off at least a finger or 2 at the same time.
Yeah, he's never going to fight with his right hand again.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but you pulled this on me. This is your fault. I'm
just doing a job! Oh, God.
You attacked us! What do you want from me? I'm not apologizing. Go home to your mother. Kiss her on the forehead. This is your fault.
Erica has, is kind of, the second this all happened, Ronaldo, Erica became, noticeably absent. But you see her emerge really at this moment, and she sees, Ted the zombie, physically picking up one of the other killers, and Erica just kind of slides in, stabs this other person with a boar spear, but then everyone's like, no, stop! Both sides are screaming this.
Erica,
so she
where
stops.
were you?
Erica!
I was getting into a flanking position! Well, where did
Not
Brian
the time
McLean
for
go?
flanking position, Erica!
I knew she was fun!
I am fun, thank you! And at this moment, kind of everybody, essentially both sides kind of fall into something like a retreat with, Ted now is out. Essentially, they lost one of their number and several more badly injured, and so all of them kind of get up. One of them takes off towards the docks, but this person is running not in the direction that Corpius went. So, yeah, in essence, the fight ends. Portia, you are, you have a crossbow bolt like 3 inches deep in your thigh.
That was my favorite thigh.
Oh.
It was one of the 2 good ones you have.
The right one's the good one.
I can try to cure you.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, Raz, you don't even need to roll for it. You kind of get healing energy into the thigh, and the bolt kind of pops out. And all of you are, it's a really weird feeling to get healed magically.
Tingly.
Is Ted the zombie still chasing those? I think I see Ted the zombie still chasing.
Oh, Ted.
Oh,
yeah, Ted.
He is relentless.
I kind of miss him.
I know.
He was so good at that time I killed him.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was
he was great.
Yeah.
So let's jump ahead to the epilogue here. The 4 of you, well, the 5 of you with Erica, and actually Hobie's here too. So the 6 of you are standing on the rooftop of one of the warehouses, looking as a one of the big trade ships is pulling out of port, preparing to head north up the Bay of Entresh to eventually the southern coasts of Catavia. And you see, kind of on the, against the railing, Corpius Brunt kind of waving to all of you, and there's kind of a lot in that wave. It's not just a goodbye and see you later. This is goodbye, Portia and Jelly, friends of mine I have seen for years. Goodbye, Raz. I could imagine a world in which I would stay and work at that church. And goodbye, Ronaldo, and good luck to you. All of that in a single wave. And as you kind of say goodbye, you kind of all feel the same pang at the same time, which is, with everything that's happened between you and the Captain of Thieves in the past, it's never fully come to this. But now it has. Now you're all in open war with the criminal underworld of this city. So we are going to go ahead and end it right there. So, woo!
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So good luck to all of you, and thank you, Portia, Ronaldo, Jelly, and Raz for playing, and thank you all on the internet for watching along. We are Knights of Prospect. We are here every Saturday night at 8 o'clock. Please like us on Facebook. Search for Knights of Prospect and we'll come up. Search for us at Knights of Prospect on Twitch as well as our friends over at 2MB Studios, which also houses a lot of great comedy. Thank you all so much, and thank you to those who donated to our home theater of Improv Boston during this hour. We will see you next week with brand new adventurers and many brand new adventures with the adventurers you know and love. Good night from the Knights of Prospect, everyone.